In the ancient Middle Kingdom, in the ancient Middle Kingdom, in the province of Henan, at the foot of sacred Mount Song where heaven and earth began, sits the city of Denfeng, a city most renowned as a place where great spiritual thinkers came to break new ground. And their thinking was loved by many. There were not many rejectors, with their wise words on how to be guided by spiritual protectors. But their words also carried warnings, for certain spiritual beings would bring chaos to the world and have its people fleeing. One such deity, who for many years did such chaos bring, was none other than Ao Guang or Kuang, the yellow dragon king. For as Feng Shen Yang Yi tells, droughts, floods, tidal waves and storms is what Ao Guang gave his people when he felt he had been scorned. And all because of greed so great, for Ao Guang did believe that despite great offerings from man, not enough did he receive. And so he made the waters rage and brought terror to the land. No one even dared tell the Jade Emperor, they let Ao Guang command. Now here we reach what is termed a tale never told. This often happens when such a tale is ancient, not just old, as things they get forgotten and fade away with time, until someone somewhere speaks again, or as now, writes some lines. For this ancient Middle Kingdom over many years changed hands. Ao Guang is only one of many who ever took command. So many gods and emperors too, known as the sons of heaven, all taking on the power and believing they would leaven. And it is known, for history tells it so, that there came a time when dragon gods and emperors did make efforts to align. For these sons of heaven embroidered them into all their finest clothes, and only they were allowed to do so, so of who they were, all would know. Now here we must consider a very significant feature. Most dragons had 4 claws, but dragon gods were 5-clawed creatures, and Ao Guang was the azure dragon, a fire breather in folklore. But how did dragon find its fire? Why did emperor wear 5 claws? Well, in the year 1162 there was a notable birth of one of the greatest commanders to ever walk the earth, and they named him Temujin, and he grew up to be Genghis Khan, the greatest Khan the world would ever see. For with the founding of the Mongol Empire, his true power was shown. It is the largest empire the world has ever known, and it is said that within battle Genghis's forces lost to none. But it is also said that this may not be true, for there may be only one. For in 1223 the Mongols they did trek into Vulgar Bulgaria and the area Konek, where they met with the Bulgars, who at first just turned and ran. This would look like a loss if it were not part of a plan. For the Mongols they followed, trying to track the Bulgars down. But only small group after small group of Bulgars could be found. And little did the Mongols know they had been drawn in, until all around the Bulgars rose, and with the ambush took the wind. The greatest Khan did pass on shortly after this, it's true, and so it was the only loss that he ever knew. But this did not stop the Mongols, for they rose up to withstand and returned to conquer all they fought and rule over many lands. The ancient Middle Kingdom was the last to fall, and so it seemed as if the world was under Mongol rule. And there was no one to oppose them, but as they reached the eastern seas, there was a certain dragon god who with their power was not pleased. For the people now followed the way of the Khans, and it is very well known that for gods to be all powerful, belief in them must be shown. But not much attention now was given to Ao Guang. He was no longer seen as the true ruler of the land. He had been defeated by Netzar, and his Rui Jingyu Bang had been stolen in his eyes and was now in Sun Wukong's hand. And so he decided he must seek out Emperor Renzong and wield his powers in order to get him back where he belonged. So one night he did appear in snake form by the emperor's bed, and to the emperor in his ear as he slept, here is what he said: I am Ao Guang, dragon god of the eastern seas, and I am one who you must fear, and so one that you must please. But now you hold all the power, no one honors me. I have let this go on for too long you have been free. But I warn you now, if you do not do much to restore my name, I will send floods so great your empire will crumble, and you'll know nothing but endless pain. Now this awoke the emperor, and in an effort to appease, he said, Ao Guang, if you are real, then what must I do to please? To which Ao Guang replied, give me something I can treasure, something no one has gifted me before, something beyond measure. Then Emperor Renzong did say, "Let me see who I must fear." And the 5-clawed, 2-horned azure dragon before him did appear. And then he said, "I look at you, and I say to you, as I breathe and live, I feel that in your honor there is nothing I can give. But I ask of you, for I wonder, did you yet acquire a most amazing creation named the medicine of fire?" And of all that he could offer, this was the most significant proposal, for the Emperor Renzong had much fire medicine at his disposal. Ao Guang had never heard of it, and so wanted to see. The black powder was brought before him, and then a eunuch on one knee lit the powder, and then, much to his surprise, there burned the brightest fizzing flame right before his eyes. Ao Guang was amazed. Such a gift he had never known, and he declared, "I will take what you offer me and leave you well alone." And Emperor Renzong was happy, and he made it so that Ao Guang had plenty of fire medicine and was free to go. But then suddenly he stopped him and asked him of his plans. Could he not stand with Emperor, dragon beside man? To which Ao Guang replied, "Now a Dragon King you goad. All you may have of me is adornment of your robes." And so it was that emperors became only those who wore fine garments embroidered with dragons, all of them 5-clawed. And what did Ao Guang use fire medicine for? Well, as previously told, he was a fire breather according to folklore. And no one knows if Ao Guang went upon a brand new quest, perhaps even following some Wukong on a journey to the west. But isn't it strange how Western dragons all managed to acquire that which terrified Western man, the skill of breathing fire.